Hello, welcome to OnVoice. I'm here with Christella Anthony, the voice specialist, speech and language therapist. So the concept of the show is that we answer your questions, or Christella answers your questions on general voice, performance voice, transgender voice, working as a speech and language therapist or a voice specialist, and everything kind of in between. So let's get into the questions. Voice. This is quite a common question. Sometimes people are in a panic. The question, I'll just read verbatim. I've experienced quite a sudden change in my voice. What should I do? What would you recommend?
I do get people ringing up who want to see somebody and they've said something similar. I always ask them whether they've seen an ear, nose and throat doctor first. If the voice change is very sudden and they've only had it a day or two, I might say wait a couple more days. But generally the rule is if you've had a voice change for 2 to 3 weeks and it hasn't got better, then you should see your doctor to get a referral to an ear, nose and throat consultant, or refer yourself privately to an ear, nose and throat consultant, or whatever way you can get to see an ENT basically, because voice change can happen just because you have a bit of infection, because you've had some very bad episodes of laryngeal reflux, lots of things, even emotional things that have a very big bearing onto the voice. But there can also be a sign of something more sinister going on, perhaps like a cancer or early stages of a cancer. And because sometimes it will just sound like hoarse voice, you really need to know what's going on. So it's inadvisable to see a therapist if you've had a hoarse voice for a while but haven't been checked out by a ear, nose and throat doctor.
Right. Okay. Gender.
Yeah.
Got anything else to add?
No, I think that's kind of covers that. I think, but leading into say transgender voice, the majority of trans clients won't have a voice disorder or a voice problem or anything wrong with their vocal cords. So we don't need them to have seen an ear, nose and throat doctor before they come and see us. There are some countries actually where they do have that stipulation in, but many other countries they can just go straight to speech and language therapy. Specialists like me are very well able to determine whether there is something that needs looking at by an ear, nose and throat doctor. So again, if you start treatment and after a session or two you're noticing that there's something not quite right with that voice, or that it's very husky or very hoarse, and also we take a case history and we'll find out whether that has been a feature of their voice for a while. At that point I would probably then ask them to see ear, nose and throat before continuing treatment. And it's true that probably up to about a quarter of the clients do sometimes have some mild dysphonia, not for reasons of pathology, but just because when you haven't been really comfortable with your voice, you do sometimes develop habits like a bit of constriction or a bit of keeping it slightly repressed, and so that would normally resolve with good voice therapy. But if our ear tells us otherwise, or any of the objective assessments we do indicate that needs to go to ENT, that voice, then that's what we'll do.
Sure, of course. So looking at gender specifically then, another common question we get, can you begin voice therapy, specifically I suppose in this scenario, either feminisation or masculinisation, before you've begun hormone treatment?
Well, again, the answer is yes, because there are many people, for many reasons, will not be able to access hormones at the time that they want. Very often people have to wait quite a long time because the waits for the services are quite long, or just to fulfill the assessment process before people get given hormones. Or there are some people who are able to access them but don't want to start them for whatever reason. Sometimes people want to delay the taking of hormones. So there's nothing to stop you starting on your voice before starting hormones. Hormones have estrogen has different effects than testosterone, of course. So estrogen that's given to trans women will not have any effect on the voice basically, and testosterone will have an effect. But either way, people can start voice therapy not on hormones.
Okay. SLTs. To me this seems like a quite similar question to last week's, which was about posture. Do you take every client you have through relaxation exercises?
So SLTs, speech and language therapists, speech pathologists as they're called in America and Australia, would very often do a relaxation type approach to many clients with voice. And again, for me, it's quite a rare occurrence that I would do that, which will surprise lots of people. It's not to say that I never do it, but I use it for the people who really need it.
Right.
And for me, voice generally is quite an active, energized phenomena, voicing. As I'm speaking to you now, I'm not feeling tense, but I'm not in kind of a very relaxed state of being kind of a bit switched off and a bit laid back, because generally those kind of states don't have very energizing effects on voice clarity. If you think of your voice when you get up in the morning, it's not your best voice. So I don't want to get people to the state of that level of relaxation. Of course, if people have a lot of anxiety, at some point some relaxation might feature in the overall treatment, but generally I don't work on relaxation with the majority of clients, only if they specifically need it. I feel more about opening the laryngeal space and energizing the voice, because I think that affects voice clarity. And talking, part of our training is to do talking therapies. You know, we all do a component of counselling in our training, and in a way that's like a talking therapy as well as doing specific voice exercises, which also addresses things like lifestyle and anxiety. Because relaxation will make people feel better. It will definitely help relieve, but it's a very temporary thing. It's a bit like having massages, how they make you feel good, and it does relax the muscles, but eventually you want somebody to own the postures and the movements that are creating that tension. So relaxation would be one tool in the box, but not necessarily a starting point for me, or the most frequent thing I do.
Because I guess what you're saying is that yes, you can relax, but if you've got bad habits that are going to create that sort of tension, no amount of relaxing is going to get rid of those habits, so you're just going to be going in a vicious cycle. I tend to go a bit deeper than that and get into the habit in the first place, or get into the lifestyle issues in the first place. But you know, as a starting point, or as a kind of a one tool in the box, I might do a progressive relaxation with some people. Lovely. Thanks for watching. If you do want to follow Christella, you can follow her on Twitter at Christella Voice, or on Instagram at Christella Anthony, or Facebook at Christella Anthony Voice. We should probably combine all those together into one simple one. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much.
Bye.